And this kind of ties into my next question. Albania and Kosovo have the highest EU approval rates in Europe, more than EU member states, for now anyway. And we don't really have much of an anti-EU rhetoric in media, in public. There are, of course, some people who pipe up and say the EU is a waste of time. I hope we never join. But this is rare. When you compare to some other EU countries, the UK, for example, previously, and many other EU countries as well, they have anti-EU parties. They have growing sentiment, EU skepticism. Do you think this is a risk in Albania if things continue slowly? But also, I also kind of feel that Albanians don't necessarily really understand what EU membership means for them, other than, I get to, travel more easily, perhaps. Do you think the problem's there? When we join, eventually it's going to be a bit of a shock for people?
You put so many elements within your introductory part before the question. Number one that I recall what you said is linked with the process itself. The process itself has been never ending for 3 decades. I recall in 1993, I was serving as ambassador in a country at that time when I got a telegram. One of your countrymen, Sir Leon Britton, was vice president of the Commission, visited Albania, 1993. And for the first time, we told him in our meetings that we would like to apply and to join the EU. And I got his telegram and read it. And his reply was, wait for a little bit more. It's too early for you to do that. So it started 32 years ago. The process has been dragging on so long that it has become kind of an abstract notion. And when you have a notion like this, with an organization, with a union, call it whatever grouping, unity, union, when you move from one postponement to the next forever postponement, there's something wrong. It could be wrong on the part of candidates that have to work a little bit more to fulfill what is asked of them to do, but it has to come also from the EU. And the EU makes promises, but never keeps the promises. So if you cannot keep the promise, you better don't make these promises. Avoid promises. And that will be fair. But again, the architecture within the EU is such that it's hard to find unity. And if there is a unity within the union on issues, when you read the conclusions, it's the lowest common denominator. This reflects definitely the different angles from which countries look at the issues, the different angles from which they analyze the issues, and the outcome will be either beneficial to all, and to be beneficial to all, it's difficult to conceive what is that general line that would be beneficial for a country of 400,000 people than a country of 90 million people.
Big differences.
Depends.
And culture as well, and
culture, history,
background,
traditions.
So much that's just.
And so when to come back to the other point, when it's whether it's a higher rating in Albania and Kosovo about the EU, it comes from a lot of propaganda, the right way propaganda. I'm using the term not negatively.
Positive
but a lot of rhetoric about it, without explaining what it means.
And this is a fault of the EU as well.
This is the fault of the country. I'm talking about my country. I'm not talking about EU. The country goes on TV with one individual or another individual, and that's it. Because of politics. You've got to work hard on it, explain, move into districts, into cities, talk to business communities, talk to Chamber of Commerces, talk to media, academicians, agriculture cooperatives to be reestablished, whatever it is. If you don't have such a support from the population, tomorrow it's going to be very difficult, and there might be a lot of frustration.
But that's what I said earlier. We hit them like a ton of bricks, when we join, and my God,
I formulated that in earlier. Said, can we endure? Can we hold the weight of the European single market?
Yeah, this is...
If yes, fine. But I'm not very sure we will be able to do that.
No.
For the moment.
Not for now.
So if it has to be very clear, at some point, instead of buying wherever in the streets there, or in the small shops, or
I buy in the streets. I buy all my veg on the street, you know.
Right. What I want to say is this: instead of buying randomly wherever you can around cities in Albania, meat, yogurt, milk, butter, margarine, whatever, will cost less to be flown in from Copenhagen to Tirana or from the Netherlands than to buy there.
Yes,
because of the phytosanitary conditions. See what I mean?
Yes.
So then they will go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Either they have to restructure and be ready to face what will come. But to face what will come, you need to understand first. And to understand, you need to have explanations how it works. So it's a process that not only we have to go through a referendum when we would have to join the EU at some point, whenever it will be, but also 27 member states will have to go through popular referendums to approve, in addition to parliamentary approval in each 27 countries. So it's going to be a bit complicated, and to have such a process that is with so many people in 400 working days for 2 years seems to be more like kind of a dream, kind of delusional, a little bit, kind of dream, kind of impossible, kind of, I don't know. The best would be, please give dates that are doable, that are reachable.
Better to give one further away and, surprise, surprise, you do it earlier than to promise something that can't be achieved or may not be achieved. Now,
I agree.